offers you opportunities to create random numbers and also the ability to create your own series of data to input into the cell. Random numbers might be useful if you have a spreadsheet that you've put everything together, including the formulas, and you want to test the formulas, but you don't have real data yet. So let's first look at the random numbers. I'm staying with this payroll file that we've been playing around with off and on during the modules, and you'll notice we have an employee numbers column. What you might want to do is create random numbers for the employee numbers. So it's a simple feature. I could just type equals in the cell where I want the random number to begin, and I type RAN, and as I'm typing, of course, the built-in functions in Excel start looking because I have the equal sign and I've started typing a function name. And the random numbers is RAND, and it gives me a random number that is between 0 and 1 with up to 14 decimal places. So I'm going to double click that, and that's all I have to do. I just hit enter and there's my random number. And if I copy this formula down, you'll see that there are several random numbers being generated, and it does give you several decimal places, and it will do up to 14 decimal places. Now, based on my employee number column, that's probably not the kind of number I want, is it? I have whole numbers, and they have 4 digits to them, so I need a number between 1,000 and 9,999. So there is a random between option that I could choose. So I'm just going to delete those out of there. I'm going to come right back up here to the cell where I started, and I'm going to type equals, and I'm going to just start typing random again. But notice as I'm typing, my list shows me random between, R-A-N-D, between. I double click on it, and all I need to do is tell it what the bottom number and the top number are. So the bottom number, if I want 1,000 to be included in the list, then the bottom number would be 999, because it'll start above that number. And if my maximum number is 9,999, then my top number would be 10,000. Make sure I got the right number of zeros in there. I'll hit enter. It's given me a random whole number, and then I can copy this down, and the numbers I'm getting are going to be from 1,000 to 9,999 because that's the criteria I gave it. So those are 2 features you can use if you need to create random numbers within your spreadsheet. Now the other thing that you might want to be able to do is create your own list. I'm going to come over here to sheet 4, and you'll notice I have a list of departments: accounting, human resources, sales, marketing, IT, purchasing, shipping. You may have other department names, but that's a typical list of department names. Now when I'm referring to series, just as a reminder, that's like, for example, when I type January or the abbreviation for January, and I pre-fill it because it's a built-in series in Excel. Well, you can create your own series. So if you have departments, if you have regions, if you have certain countries that you're represented in, or certain facilities, and you want to create a list because you use that list of headers or information in your spreadsheets on a regular basis, then you can do this. So the first thing you do is you create your list. So I have my list and I've created it. Make sure you create it in the order you want it to fill in, because this is the order it will always work in once I create it as a series. Now this is in an obscure place, mainly I guess because when you get into Excel and you create a list, you're probably not going to be doing this very often, but it's in Backstage View. So I'm going to come back up here to my ribbon and click on File. That'll take me to Backstage View. And of course it's in Options. Options has been our friend. We've been there a lot. So we're going to click on Options, and we're going to Advanced, about the 6th one down in the list. It is near the bottom. So I'm going to scroll down and find General. So scroll down till you see the header called General. There's General, and under General it's the last thing. Create lists for use in sorts and fill sequences. And I can click on Edit Custom List. First of all, we can see some of the lists that are already built in there. There's my days of the week and my months of the year. All I need to do now is tell it that I'm going to add one. So I'm going to come out here, I'm going to click on Add, and I'm going to go out and select my cell range. There's my cell range. I'll click the little red arrow to go back, and I'll hit import. Notice now it's showing my list entries and it's over here as a custom list. So I click OK, and I click OK here. And let's say I wanted to put my list in. Let's just start right here. I'll type accounting, and let me grab the little handle, and there you go. There's my list coming through, and it repeats just like the others do. I can start from any item in the list, just like in the other list that we have, and it repeats them in the order that they exist within the list. And of course, we found that in Backstage View. I go back to File, come down to Options, my Advanced choice, scroll down near the bottom of the list where the general features are, and it's right here at Edit Custom Lists. Obviously, one of the things I can also do is select a list if I no longer need it, and I can delete it. Maybe I discover, oh, I misspelled marketing when I put that together, or they've renamed a department, so I'm going to have to change that, or something along those lines. But for whatever reason, if you need to get rid of it, you hit delete. It says it's going to permanently be deleted. You click OK, and it's gone. Now the thing about lists are once you've created them, they're available in any of your spreadsheets. So those are some neat little tips you can use as you're inputting data into your spreadsheets.